Hi. In this short video, I wanted to share with you the words of someone I really appreciate and I really love. He's a very special and gifted person who came to me to have a QHHT session. His name is Paul, and he's also a musician. He's making beautiful music you could find on the internet. I will share the links to his music and his work. And the reason why I'm sharing his voice is because I truly feel and believe that he has something to share and something to say, and also he is someone who's sharing love and hope to the world. So that's mainly why I feel you should listen to his voice and be inspired by what he's saying. So yeah, let's listen to Paul.
So QHHT, I've always believed in past lives and that my dreams and or ideas were shaped by some experience, especially those whenever I was writing music or any poetry that seemed to be automatic. Like, how did I do that? Uh, how did I achieve this level without, certain training? And obviously that's the higher self communicating to me. But I had no idea about any of this. I had no way of phrasing it. So I just kind of went on with life, just, like, hey, cool. This is a bonus. Never really knowing that the angels were on my side or my spirit guides or any of that. Just kind of, just whatever. And then I moved countries. I encountered a lot of tragedy in a very short window of time. A lot of things went, I won't say they've gone wrong, but they got chaotic, and there was a complete loss of will. There was a complete loss of I just gave up, man. I just really didn't have any idea that what I wanted to do. All the dreams that I had kind of vanished. I just kind of felt um I just felt stagnant, and I had like no way, no push. And then I would remember things from my previous spiritual studies, and it got to a point where everything that I had learned, everything that I was learning, and all the change that I was undergoing, I felt like I needed help. That talking to somebody wouldn't be enough. That maybe I needed somebody to reach inside and shake everything around. And that's when I started to research QHHT and past life regression. And I eventually found an English speaker in Spain, but the corona pandemic hit, so I couldn't travel to her city. And so I kind of forgot about it. And then I moved to Germany. Yeah, when I moved to Germany, I was feeling a bit better than I had in Spain, but I knew I needed help. And so I just typed in past life regression, Germany, and this one website popped up. It was like a directory of QHHT practitioners. And I saw a few names, but then I saw this one lady who also played music. And I was like, that's cool. This person's going to have a deeper understanding of the abstract. So at least if I don't have a noticeable experience, I'll get some insight. So I had a session with Gita, and yeah, a lot of psychological and spiritual changes were happening to me after that session. I didn't understand it at first because it was manifesting as anxiety and panic attacks. And I was wondering why I was freaking out so much when I actually felt better. It turns out that I was spending so much time in a dark place, so full of anger and sorrow and bitterness and confusion, that I really didn't feel anything else. And so after our session, I was feeling happy about certain things. I was feeling optimistic. I was feeling things that I hadn't felt in a long time. And it drove me insane because it all came back at once. And I started to freak out a little bit. But I understood that, okay, I was pushing so many things to one side that it's all coming back now. This is when I decided to read the books on Dolores Cannon because at first I wanted to just hear Gita's thoughts and opinions on Dolores Cannon, QHHT, and all of that. And then once I got to know a bit more of it, then I wanted to read about it on my own. So I started reading the books. And a lot of the books and the testimonials or the interviews that Dolores conducts in the books, it sounds like me talking, and a lot of it sounds very familiar, and some of it sounds very foreign. So I would read and reread passages. I would go back to spiritual books as reference points, websites, anything I can do to gain the clearest understanding of what these books had to say. And these books just opened my mind further to past life regression and all that I started to have dreams. I went from having bad dreams and nightmares to having dreams about experiences that I don't remember having but sound and looked very familiar. So then I started to understand and appreciate, okay, these are images from past lives. And since I've had this session and kind of this awakening, all these thoughts and images are going to pop to the surface for insight, guidance, and whatever. And sure enough, that's what's happening. And so I've spent months after my particular QHHT session just going to the forest and just thinking and just processing my thoughts and making sense of it and connecting those to past experiences, just doing the work to take whatever tools Gita gave to me, whatever tools are written in these books, and pull myself out of that darkness and not return to who I was, because there are a lot of changes that won't allow that to happen, but to embrace a new normal, to be the new me, to change the narrative of the story I've been telling myself this whole time. And that's what these books, QHHT, Gita Devanakyotis, her practice, her love, and her patience, all of that, all of these wonderful aspects have come together and have re-educated me on how to be more centered and awake, especially in these crazy political and medical times. I mean, it's clear as day that special interests are all that matter to our politicians, even to our religious leaders, to our education system. It's all special interests, and it's all geared to create legal slavery, mental slavery, spiritual slavery, and to allow other terrible things to happen behind the scenes. But the only thing we can control and the only thing that we are in charge of is our reaction and our actions. Once you figure that out, which it took me a while to figure out, but I did, then life will become easier and you will be able to separate yourself even further while being in the middle of it. This is essentially the goal of a person who wants to become a guru or has a guru that they look up to, is just how to be apart and separate from society. And I feel QHHT, Gita, these books, my continued individual practice, meditation, and just common sense is really what I feel are my best weapons in these strange times. So I would recommend that even if you don't fully believe in past lives or have any spiritual curiosity, but you still have psychological issues, you have problems, I recommend everybody go get a QHHT reading, just because it can actually facilitate change that just talking to a psychologist or simple meditation, it can really make a big difference.